Wow. I wonder if you guys caught that, but that was the OG sponsor, Mom, sneezing in the background. Well, hi. Hi.
Things I love with me, Ife.
This is me, Sife. And she's continuing to sneeze in the background. But we're not going to falter because this house is dusty. So I understand. So if you're joining us, when I say us, it's as if there's like a bunch of people here. No, it's just me. And this Razer webcam. Well, if you're joining me, thank you for watching. And I hope that I live up to your expectations because wow, I didn't think that I would get so deep so quickly, but I hope I can live up to your expectations because I don't know what your expectations are. Anywho, so if you were with us last time, what we did was we just went through this topic of what's it called? Oh, you know what I was gonna do? I was gonna put on a timer. Well, I got one here, I guess. So let me share my screen with you. Welcome, everybody. This is Ife. Welcome to this new situation called All the Things I Love with Ife, whose name means love. So, last time we went through this list, 100 podcast topic ideas. Let's see if I can bring it over here. So we went through this list together, and I think that it was pretty neat. The funniest one being this one here. Oh, why is my share stopped? Okay. The funniest one being this one. Board public buses and interview the drivers. What is that about? And okay, so talk about a new skill or hobby that you're learning. I said that I want to learn about podcasting. That's something I want to learn about. Tell different stories about your sponsors. Shout out to the OG sponsors, Mom and Dad. Mom, she sneezes quite loud. The thing about my mom is that the way that she sneezes, it sounds like someone's just pushed her down a flight of stairs. When my mom sneezes, if you would have never heard it before, it would sound like someone is just like, I don't know, brutally attacking her. I don't really know why she sneezes that way, but I suppose her body is that offended to dust and pollen and other allergens that when she comes into contact with one of those things, her body just has this visceral reaction where it just projectile expels that allergen from her body. So it's funny. It's funny. All right. So here we go. Tell different stories about your sponsors. Sponsors, OG Mom and Dad, sponsoring this house, sponsoring me living under this roof. I'm sorry. Okay, wait. Let me open this thing up again. Okay, here we go. Yeah, shout out to the OG sponsor, Mom and Dad, for sponsoring this video and also sponsoring my life. Thanks. Thanks, Mom and Dad. All right, start a guessing show, record your daily activities, preparation podcast. I don't remember reading this one. A preparation podcast describing how you or people in general prepare for any type of event. It could be preparing for dinner, a big business meeting, an event, a birthday, or any of your daily activities. I don't know what that even means. Point of view podcast, I remember talking about different perspectives and inviting panelists and having them debate a topic. And then this is where we ended, my favorite comedy podcast. Should I open with a joke? Do I have any jokes? Does Ife have any jokes? Let me check my notes. Does Ife have any jokes? Okay, I have a joke in mind that I want to tell. Oh, yeah. All right, hold on. Let me consult my notes. No shame in that. Okay, so here we go. Yes. Nope, that's not it. Here we go. Okay, so this joke comes from, I remember I saw a comedian doing this stand-up comedy special where they were talking about how people, want to be called New Yorkers and how New Yorkers have this monopoly and this grip on who gets to be called New Yorkers and who doesn't. And I remember I once heard this comedian say that they were walking in Times Square and that, somebody they saw, they were gawking at these signs and they had their mouth open and a plastic bag flew into their mouth. And they argued that being a New Yorker, that should be earned through experiences, not earned through years of being in New York. So this person said, yeah, I was walking in Times Square and I saw this woman and she was gawking. She had her mouth open and a plastic bag flew into her mouth. And in my opinion, I think that means that she should have earned 2 years of being here. And I think it's quite interesting because there's so many people who come from other places and come to New York, and now it's COVID, so everyone's gone back to where they came from. But there are so many transplants who will come to New York and they want to be called New Yorkers right away. Oh, I just got to New York, I'm a New Yorker, I want to be a New Yorker. But I mean, come on, fella, it doesn't work like that. I mean, in the sense of the story that this comedian was talking about, I mean, I think, what were you doing in Times Square if you're supposed to be a real New Yorker, sir? Ma'am? I was going to tell that entire joke, but I decided not to just because I started hearing the rain through the microphone. And surely if I'm hearing it, you're hearing it too. I hope you guys are hearing it because maybe you're not. But it's raining outside. And rain for me, I'd say, was something that was always really soothing. I was always really soothed by the rain. Some of my oldest memories of trying to go to sleep include rain. But rain was something that I don't think really happened much during the daytime. I think when you're trying to fall asleep and you're listening to the rain, it's a different experience than when you're outside listening to rain or walking in the rain. It's so much more soothing, I suppose, when you have a covering over you and you don't have to worry about your umbrella. You don't have to worry about getting wet. I think all of us go out into the rain and assume that there's something we could possibly do to walk in it without getting wet. But that's impossible because everywhere around you is raining. It's everywhere around you is wet. So how could you think that, oh, if I duck down this way or if I hold my umbrella that way, that you're not going to get wet too? Why would you think that? Why do we do that? I don't know. Idealism. Yep, I figured it out. It's because of idealism. I mean, heck, I'd say I'm an idealist. Idealists are people, well, let me not say about idealists in general. Let me talk about me, myself, and I. I'm an idealist. And that means that if I see a situation, if I see a system that's not really working out, it doesn't have to be that it's not working out. I just start to think about how it can be better. And in my mind, if I think about how things can be better, then surely we can make things better. And maybe I think that harps on the critique in me, the critic, not the critique. I think that harps on the critic in me. And maybe that's not a part of me at all. Because I'd say that I'm a pretty grateful person at heart. I think, though, that lately it's been hard to be grateful because there's so much that feels like it's going wrong. I want to be grateful for what I have, though. I want to be grateful for my life. And I just want to be grateful for everything. I want to be grateful for being alive. I know that it might feel like a lot of people died in 2020. But actually, the death rate has been rising. And for the rate in which the death rate has been rising, last year, from what I've read, actually, statistically, wasn't this like major amounts of death compared to years before. It was actually pretty surprising to see that graph. I wonder if I can find it. Because it was actually pretty surprising because It was actually pretty surprising because I thought that, I mean, just like anybody else would think that last year, given that we were in a pandemic and we had COVID, that it was a year where we had more deaths than usual. Number of deaths. Shucks. Death rate by year. Let's see what it shows me. U.S. death rate. Number of deaths. Number of deaths by year. This is not very funny or lighthearted at all. Okay. Okay, let's see now. U.S. death rates. Ooh, is this it? U.S. death rates. Current. So yeah, you see, since what year is this? This looks like about 2008. Since 2008, so it looks like the death rate, because this is something that we heard about. Oh my God, this is so important. Since 1989 until 2008, the death rate has gone down. Look at this, from about nine per 1,000 people to 8 per 1,000 people. I mean, considering, let's look at that. That's significant. It has really gone down quite a bit. Which around 2008 or so, around this time, we were hearing a lot about how, people are not having children, and how we're in a society of old people. Remember hearing that? So I remember hearing a lot of and reading a lot of articles about people not having kids in Japan, and how there's a lot of old people, and that the birth rate was going down, and that we were in a crisis situation, essentially. I don't think it's a crisis. People like Bill Gates wouldn't think that it's a crisis. Here I am, episode 2 of the podcast, already talking about Bill Gates. My sister thinks that I'm obsessed with Bill Gates. I'm not. I just know he don't want us to be having no babies. Okay. Anywho, okay, so here we go. Since 2008 to now, the death rate has gone up about as much as it went down between 1989, and 2008. So from 2008 to 2021, which is about 11 years, 13 years, sorry. About 13 years, the death rate has gone up about as much as it went down from 1988 to 2008. So about 20 years, which is incredible. Wow. I mean, I think that's significant. Half the amount of time, but it's gone right back up. So that means that what they think, the UN projections, yeah, right, they don't know anything. They think that the death rate is going to continue to rise. That's a lot of deaths. Oh my God. Do you see this? Oh, and it does not include any impacts of the COVID. What? Wait, all 2020? Oh, are you serious? Anyway, even with COVID and stuff like that, I've seen the same projections. The death rate is increasing. So that means more people are dying every year. Every year, more people die. And I don't even remember why I brought that up. Okay, so more people die every year, and I think that's significant. I'm tired. It's really late. So more people die every year, and I think that's significant. Yes, so I brought it up to say that 2020 felt like a year where all of these people died. Like it felt like this year where so many people died, and I think that anybody watching mainstream media felt like it was a lot of people. Anybody watching the news, anybody who was plugged into social media or any other outlets to get information, anybody who lives in this world felt like, wow, there's so many people dying from COVID. However, if we look at the year, based off of this chart, if we look at the year 2008 until now, it continues to rise. So I wonder what's a part of that, given that, I mean, hey, processed foods, maybe super duper processed foods maybe came in around late 80s or the 90s. These like super duper processed foods came in around the 80s. And now, here we got 2021. And it just continues to rise. I mean, I wonder what your take is on why the death rate is rising. And why is it that these UN projections are continuing to go up and up and up? Do they know something we don't know? Maybe. Why is it that the UN projection... Why is it that by the time we reach the year 2100, I've never even thought that that was something I would reach. Why is it? Well, I wouldn't reach the year 2100. It's 2021 right now. Aw, that's not something I would think about either. Death. Yeah, death. Why is it that when we reach the year 2100, the UN projects that deaths per 1,000 people would be 10 deaths per 1,000 people? Do they know something we don't know? Maybe. Anywho, That's me. I guess I've reached like 25 minutes. I feel like I don't have anything else to talk about today. And I want to stop the share. Interesting. Okay. 100 podcast ideas. Review newspaper stories, events, podcasts. Let me go through this a little bit. So there was comedy. I tried that and I aborted my joke. But it's all right. Then there is review newspaper stories. You can review newspaper stories. It could be funny headlines, stupid stories, or any type of news. Events podcast. Discuss different events from festivals to sporting events and festivals. Discuss festivals, sporting events, and festivals. Discuss the events before they happen and after they're held. 16. Discuss specific groups. Meet with groups around your city or country. Go to their meetings and get an insider view. That's interesting. Be a spy. Number 17, a podcast about shops. Start a podcast about shops and interview shop owners. Talk about their challenges and interview CEOs. I wonder what challenges shop owners are having today around COVID. Especially given that, I'm based in New York, I'm based in Brooklyn. And, these mandates. I mean, shop owners don't have to do anything extra, but the restaurant owners definitely do, and the bar owners. And the spas, the gyms, the clubs, the Broadway shows that are just opening up and are barely staying afloat. What's the other ones? I said restaurants, right? Yeah. The movie theaters. So, there used to be a time where, people could just walk into places. Now there's a lot to think about. Now there's a lot to worry about. I mean, I'm not really worried, but I think there are a lot of people who want to take part in society who are not able to because of their status. And I think that's quite interesting that we are actually living in something like that. Insanity. All right, next is a travel podcast. Start a podcast about traveling and travels. Yeah, traveling to the mall. You can interview people that have visited a lot of countries and get their views and experience. Yeah, traveling to a restaurant if you don't have a passport, Vaxport. Yeah, Vaxport. Traveling to the convenience store, traveling to places where you are allowed in. Traveling to places where you're not allowed in. Not traveling to places where you're not allowed in. And look, a lot of countries too, they're having, an interesting time. It's an interesting time. I remember I saw, my sister lives in London and I want to go visit her. And so I was looking at the requirements to travel for people who are not residents. And, what's necessary, quarantine and XYZ. If you want to go to London and you're not vaccinated, you have to quarantine for 10 days. You have to quarantine for 10 days. If you are there for less than 10 days, you still have to quarantine. That means that if you're there for 5 days, you can't go and see anything for 5 days because you need to quarantine for all of those 5 days. And they say that they're gonna call you if you're home, if you're quarantining, if you're not, they're gonna find out. That's what they said, that they need to be able to call you no matter what, where you are, so that they can figure out what's going on. They want to make sure you're actually quarantining. I mean, how would they really know? How would they know? If you're calling me and you say, well, are you in this place? And I say, yep. Are you outside of my house? Are you outside of my hotel room? Are you outside of my Airbnb? Are you? And I think, maybe not. But if they are, charges, stalking. You're stalking me. That's harassment. I mean, I did this podcast because I just wanted to express myself. And I think at the same time, it's nice to feel like I could be funny, I guess. But I don't know. Am I forcing it sometimes? Because it's easier to laugh than it is to cry. It's easier to laugh about things than it is to be sad. And I'd rather laugh. It feels better to laugh. Well, anywho, I am going to leave that here. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. I'm a little sleepy, but it's a little late. Oh, stop the share. Stop the share. Yes. So, thank you for joining me. This was All the Things I Love with Ife, whose name means love. Wait, let me give you a proper sayonara. Okay, here we go. Yes, this was All the Things I Love with Ife, whose name means love. This week and next week too, I hope, and here's to you, I hope you get into all the things you love too. All right, so I guess I'm thinking about what day I want to put these things out. Like if it's like every Tuesday, if it's every Wednesday, like what day would be good? I'm thinking Tuesday might be good for some reason. Yeah, I'm gonna put these out on Tuesdays at, I don't know, like 5 or 6 o'clock. Lord knows. Anywho, yeah, so there's that. Shout out to the Sexless Tribe. This is, let's see if I can. This is a necklace from this online community called the Sexless Tribe. This is young. It's not all, you don't have to be young, but it's, I guess I'd say it's young people, young adults who are into that celibate lifestyle. Ooh, here we go. And this says, my body is, my body is a temple. So you can find that on the Sexless Tribe. Ooh. Here we go. Oh, Jesus. Come on now. All right. Over here. Nope. Here. Let me get a piece of paper. My body is a temple. Oh my God. You know what? Whatever. All right. So that's that. That's that, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. Here's to you. This is All the Things I Love with Ife, whose name means love. Here's to you getting into all the things you love too. All right. We'll see you again on Tuesday. Peace out. Peace out.
All the things I love with me, Ife.